If you're not speaking over and commanding your situation, then you're not walking in the full authority that God has given you. I have 2 points that are going to help elevate your situation in a major way. But first, I want to remind you that you have the power and the authority to speak to any and every situation, but it requires the presence of one thing and the absence of another, and that is faith and doubt. Now, faith is another word for expectancy, but not to be mistaken for entitlement. They're not the same. Jesus says in Mark 11:23, "Truly I say to you, whoever says to this mountain, be taken up and thrown into the sea, and does not doubt in his heart, but believe that what he says will come to pass, it will be done for him." It's scriptural. Jesus said it. He doesn't lie. God doesn't lie. This requires belief and a deadly allergy to doubt. Now, if you have a little faith, just a little bit, as little as a mustard seed, it is sufficient to drown out the doubt. You have to understand that faith is spiritual currency. And doubt and disbelief, they are also spiritual currency. So faith is equivalent to like spiritual wealth, and doubt and disbelief would be equivalent to spiritual impoverishment according to our situations, pertaining to our situations. Jesus said in Matthew 9:29b, "According to your faith be it unto you." According to your faith, according to your expectancy, be it unto you. And as you speak over your situation, it's even more important to have faith and belief that you will indeed receive the very thing that you're petitioning God for. It's impossible to please God without faith. You have to have it. It is required. It is required. He requires us to expect things from him. It is required. The other point I wanted to make is that God has given us the authority to bind and loosen aspects of our situation. Jesus said, "Whatever you bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven." So it's important that we thoroughly analyze our situation, understand what the culprit is, and understand what is necessary for a favorable outcome of the situation according to God's will. Now, this will help us understand what it is exactly that needs to be bound. For example, let's say you have an unfaithful spouse that keeps sleeping around. Some people may be tempted to bind the woman or the man that their spouse is cheating with, but the reality is that the true culprit is sexual immorality and their addiction to corn. Okay, so pray and ask the Holy Spirit to lead you so that when you are binding things, you're effective by walking in accordance to God's will and not acting out on your carnate and your human nature. Now, some of the things you'd bind would be things like the spirit of poverty, delay, procrastination, distraction, and side note, delay and procrastination are two and the same. And in the case of our example, we'd want to bind sexual immorality and infidelity and things in that nature. And some of the things we'd want to loosen would be everything that the enemy has stolen from us. And that would be things like fidelity, marital vows, sexual purity, blessings, focus, timeliness. And it's equally, if not even more so important, to prove the enemy to be a liar by not participating in the very thing that we are binding. So when you're dealing with, for example, the spirit of delay, and you're late for every single situation, you are cooperating with the enemy's tactic. If you stay late and you're battling the spirit of delay, you can't be late. You have to prove it to be a lie. And when you bind the spirit of poverty, don't participate in a poverty mindset by being fearful of giving to the poor out of the fear that God is not going to provide for you. You are, again, participating in the enemy's tactics. The Lord is our shepherd. We lack absolutely nothing. We lack nothing mentally, spiritually, physically, or emotionally. We lack nothing. Our heads are anointed with oil. Our cups overflow. Goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our lives. Goodness and mercy shall follow us all the days of our life. We lack absolutely nothing. God gave me this word yesterday. I wanted to post it yesterday, but I didn't get around to it. So I really hope that this was a blessing to somebody. If you found it to be helpful, give the video a thumbs up. If you want to see similar content, subscribe, and I will see you guys later. Blessings.